everybody. I am here today with Carolyn Houston, our science instructor at the Ponte Vedra campus, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the exciting events that have been taking place and are going to take place in the future out there. So I know that you recently had a Starry Night event. Can you tell me a little bit about what that was? The picture that was posted on the web was absolutely amazing.
Well, that's the work of Sean Coleman. He's always out here making us all look good with his photography, talents, and magic. But yeah, so once a year in January, when we are supposed to have like really consistent weather with not a lot of rain and thunderstorms, I plan a moonless night to invite all the first graders out with their parents to do some sky observations. We watch the sunset. Then we let it get nice and dark, and then we look for some constellations. And meanwhile, there's a team of teachers and educators out here that help make the whole evening happen. It's a rotation. We have a Oreo cookie moon phase experience. We have a constellation tube making experience where you create these little tiny tubes with the constellations on them so that the kids can look through them. And see the constellations so that when they go out and look at the night sky, they can kind of see the star configuration that they're looking for. And then we go outside and we look for, we always are looking for planets. So we got to see Jupiter this year, and we look for the winter constellations.
Nice. I honestly, I'm embarrassed to say I didn't know that there were winter and summer. I knew that there were constellations northern and southern hemisphere, but I didn't know that there were. So tell me a little bit more about that, because I am a big star buff. Like, I am not an expert by any means, but when I am out on my adventures, one of my favorite things is to get away from ambient light and to be able to see the Milky Way, the galaxy. I mean, it is amazing, and I take great comfort. And this is, I'm going to geek out a little bit, but I take great comfort in wherever I've been on my trips in the northern hemisphere. I can always find Orion. And there's some piece about being able to, find that and orient yourself regardless of where you are and what else you can see. So tell me more about the winter constellations. I'm super curious.
Okay, well, so here's the thing. It has to do with our place in space as we orbit the sun. So you have to think about the fact that we're the ones moving, and this is the concept that we really work with the first graders as we orbit the sun. So as we face away from the sun, we look out into a different part of space depending on the time of year. And so the constellations don't always appear in the same location in the night sky. With even the Little Dipper or Ursa Minor, which is the northernmost constellation, is kind of still appears to turn in the night sky as we make our trip around the sun. And so, yes, constellations come and go as we go through the year. So Orion's a big one in the winter time. I don't have them all memorized, Tyler, but the fifth graders do. Whole lessons on when constellations appear and when they don't. And I turn my classroom into the constellations as we go around the sun as what's in their what's in their night sky vision. So that's a fun activity. You should come out for it the next year when I do it, so that you can get the whole lesson in detail.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
absolutely.
That is one of the negatives about being closer to town, is that there's so much more light. It's really hard to sort of see, and that is where, when you get away from it all. But I mean, I love the science aspect with the first graders. I also love this concept of, we're always talking about being part of something far bigger than ourselves at Bowls, and you're one piece of a larger puzzle, and there's probably no better way to do that than to, realize the magnitude of what surrounds us.
You do feel very small when you're thinking about space and talking about constellations and the planets, and particularly with the first graders, just the whole idea that as we turn away from the sun, with the sunset being the beginning of our night, and it was beautiful, it's a cotton candy sunset. But even in the hour and a half that we were out there, we had some teenagers helping us with our telescopes, and they kept having to readjust the telescope because Jupiter was moving across the night sky. And Orion, on the night that we were doing the night sky event, had risen just after dusk and was also heading across the sky as we moved through the sky too. And again, for the first graders, it's all about us. We're spinning, and so as we spin, those objects in space seem to be the ones moving, but it's actually us. But they really get it, and I think it's fun for the parents too to watch their kids' minds awaken and explore the universe.
Well, I'm super appreciative of you guys taking the time to do that, especially after a class day. I mean, these are long days. And we love serving the kids, especially the little ones, but we all know they're high energy. And so having them for another hour and a half after, or if I'm sure they're coming back. But, thank you for doing that, and thank you for being so passionate about it that you're willing to, open that space up.
It's definitely not just me. There were 6 of us out here, awesome. all working on the activity. So it definitely is a team effort.
I love it. Well, that is fantastic. I'll definitely try to make it next year. Let me know when it's going to happen. I know that it's on my calendar, but I'll try to prioritize it a little bit more because it sounds like a great event. Switching over, I want to give a personal thank you and allow you to talk about something else that's happening out at PV. I got a bag of carrots and greens yesterday that had been grown at the Ponte Vedra campus.
Hi, Mr. Hodges. We have been harvesting in the garden. We have some broccoli for you. We have some turnips for you. We have some kale for you. We have some carrots for you. Bye, Mr. Hodges.
So what are you guys doing out there?
Well, that's a kindergarten project. They start in late summer, early fall, planting from seed all of those wonderful vegetables that you got. And you got rainbow carrots, which is the kindergartners all think that when we plant them, that the carrots are going to actually be a rainbow. So it's very fun to watch them explore and realize that when we say rainbow carrots, that it's red carrots, purple carrots, yellow carrots, white carrots, and of course your orange carrots, and not very many orange carrots. As a matter of fact, our gardens, for whatever reason, the seed that takes the best to our sandy soil out here is the white carrots. So we get an abundance of those white carrots growing. And it's all about plants are living things, and plants, what they need to survive and how they survive, and what kinds of living things feast and eat those plants as they're growing and developing. We also talk about parts of the plant, like that we're eating the roots and the carrots and the leaves of the kale. And with the broccoli, they're stunned to find out they're eating florets, things that have not become flowers, and that the entire plant is edible, but I let them bloom. That's, I think, my favorite thing. I let the broccoli flower bloom, and they eat the flowers. And the kids, the kindergartners, love eating the flowers of the broccoli. And it's really cute because they're like, wow, it tastes like broccoli.
Sure. Again, that experiential piece is so important. The hands-on, outside of just the textbook, outside of the classroom, stepping out, having the opportunity to do this. We're really blessed to be in an area where we can do that throughout the school year.
It really is wonderful. And the kindergartners, when you come out to visit them, they are in a fierce debate about what color carrot is the best tasting. Because they, of course, have tried all of those carrots. So they're going to want to know what you think. And what was it, Tyler?
I have my opinion. I'm a big purple carrot fan.
Yeah, they're good, aren't they?
I think they're good. Like, I think that, you're trained because of what's in the store, obviously, to sort of gravitate towards the orange ones, and they do taste good. Yes. But the purple ones, I find, have this, like, it's a little bit earthy almost of a flavor. I enjoy them.
My personal favorite is the yellow carrots. I find them to be a little tiny bit sweeter, so it's a little more dessert than vegetable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'm going to be excited to come out there and thank them in person. Well, I really appreciate the time. I know that you're super busy, but this is just a small snapshot of what takes place at our lower schools, both at Whitehurst and Ponte Vedra. this is what it's all about. It's important that we're engaging them even at those early ages, and I'm a big fan of that. So thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for all the work.
Absolutely. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too, and thanks to everybody out there for all that you do.